I'm sorry, but has anyone realized, or is it just me, Indonesian horror films are so much scarier than Hollywood horror films?
There's white linen, so it tends to like hop around or even like float. It is also believed that if a pecan catches you, it will bring upon mystery and extremely bad luck.
Demi apapun, ini random banget. Penulisnya film The Conjuring nonton Pabrik Gula, woi. Dan dia suka sama filmnya. Jadi Pabrik Gula tuh kan bakal tayang di Amerika. Dan mereka udah ngadain premiernya di sana. Dan ternyata si beliau ini diundang. Dan setelah nonton dia ngomong kayak gini.
Jadi sutradara Oppenheimer ini itu secara tegas bilang kalau dia tuh mau panggil setan beneran di filmnya nanti.
Halo guys, selamat datang kembali di channel CM Religi. Di video kali ini, kita akan membahas sesuatu yang bikin kita sebagai orang Indonesia benar-benar bangga. Bayangkan, film horor Indonesia yang dulu sering dianggap lokal banget, sekarang justru berhasil menembus pasar internasional lewat platform sebesar Netflix. Ini bukan sekadar pencapaian biasa, tapi bukti bahwa karya anak bangsa mulai dilirik dan dihargai dunia. Kira-kira apa sih yang membuat film horor Indonesia bisa sampai di titik ini? Yuk kita bahas bersama.
I'm sorry, but has anyone realized, or is it just me, Indonesian horror films are so much scarier than Hollywood horror films? Literally. I mean, Hollywood horror movies try to scare you with jump scares. That's about it. Indonesian horror movies, they just try to ruin your sleep schedule for life. In Hollywood, the ghost appears like, boom. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is scary for about 2 seconds. In Indonesian horror films, the ghost doesn't rush. Like, it stands there, quiet, watching, judging. Sometimes it's not even moving, it's just existing. And that is somehow worse. Like, I mean, Hollywood ghosts, they just chase you. But Indonesian ghosts, they wait. Like, they let you walk closer. They let you think you're safe. Then all of a sudden, they turn their head very slowly. Like, it's annoying on how patient they are. Like, who trained them? And don't get me started on the settings. I mean, Hollywood horror movies, they're more abandoned hospitals, haunted mansion, creepy forest. But Indonesian horror movie, majority of them is your own house. Bathroom, kitchen, prayer room, village road at 2 a.m. Places you actually go. Like, I mean, after you finish the movie, you're like, okay, cool. Now, I'm bloody scared of my own house. And the sounds is no loud music. It's just warning the whole time. Just silence, then chanting, then someone's just doing that small creepy laugh. Like, I mean, why are they whispering? I mean, Hollywood horror movies, they just want adrenaline. But Indonesian horror movies, they create trauma. They want people to come out the cinema very traumatic. Like, you don't scream, you freeze, you question your faith, you suddenly remember every prayer you've learned. Like, that's not entertainment, that's spiritual warfare. Literally. Like, I mean, yeah, Hollywood horror movies scares you for the night. But Indonesian horror movies, it literally stays with you.
What you saw in that video is a pocong. I'm probably saying it horribly, so I'm going to put the name right here. It is a ghost from Indonesia. And in Indonesia, whenever a person passes away, it is customary for the person to get wrapped in this white linen before the person is put in the ground. If the white linen is left tied, when the person goes to try to cross over, they can't cross over, like their spirit stays trapped. The linen always has to stay untied. And it doesn't walk like a normal person would walk because, mind you, it is a body that has been tied up in this white linen, so it tends to like hop around or even like float. It is also believed that if a pecan catches you, it will bring upon mystery and extremely bad luck. Many people have reported seeing them late at night, especially if they live near a graveyard. Some have even said that they have seen these pecans floating around in the streets, and they're very relentless. And if they see you, they're going to go out of their way to try to catch you. They're also very fast. Like always, I always cover like a bunch of urban legends, and a lot of them are urban legends, but I feel like this video is pretty legit. The reaction of the man from seeing the pecan sounds extremely believable. I believe that he saw what shows in the video. Like, he actually saw one of these things floating around towards him. What do you guys think?
Hello! So I was looking for Indonesian movies, right? I told you guys that I was looking for Indonesian movies, and I found this horror movie, which I won't even try to pronounce the name. I have no idea how to say this. I'll put it on the screen, you can see. And I was thinking about watching it, right? I'm not a huge fan of horror movies because I get scared very easily. But I was thinking about watching it just out of curiosity. And then I found out that during filming, the actress would sometimes look possessed, I guess. And they even say that she would speak in a different language that she doesn't know. I think it was Dutch, if I'm not mistaken. And here in Brazil, I've been in some movies, right? So I'm thinking, if I was in the set, if I was on that movie, and all of a sudden the actress get possessed, I would start running. And I would run so much that I would only stop running when I was in Brazil again, right? Because I'm just a guy that gets scared very easily. So I'm bule, botak, and I get scared very easily, and that's it. So, have you seen this movie? Is the movie good? Is it scary? Tell me.
Demi apapun, ini random banget. Penulisnya film The Conjuring nonton Pabrik Gula, woi. Dan dia suka sama filmnya. Jadi Pabrik Gula tuh kan bakal tayang di Amerika. Dan mereka udah ngadain premiernya di sana. Dan ternyata si beliau ini diundang. Dan setelah nonton dia ngomong kayak gini.
It was awesome. I was telling Layla, it was a really nice blend of horror, comedy, love, friendship. I mean, it hit so many boxes of great movies because you never get bored.
Ini berarti udah di-approve nih sama suhunya. Tapi menurut gue film Pabrik Gula emang oke sih. Kelihatan mewah at some point, meskipun masih ada beberapa kekurangan. Gue tapi jujur penasaran, di Amerika bakal laku nggak nih filmnya? Semoga iya deh, biar makin banyak lagi orang-orang luar yang tahu perfilman Indonesia.
Wow, gila, Christopher Nolan tuh mau bikin film horor Indonesia. Jadi sutradara Oppenheimer ini itu secara tegas bilang kalau dia tuh mau panggil setan beneran di filmnya nanti. Dan dia tuh nggak mau pakai CGI atau efek di garapan horor terbarunya ini. Wah, berani juga ya. Nah, tapi ini aman gak nih dari kesurupan-kesurupan? Nah, jadi ternyata sutradara Christopher Nolan ini tuh tertarik banget sama film horor Indonesia, khususnya yang ada kebudayaan Jawanya. Jadi dia tuh mau angkat cerita horor urban legend dari Indonesia. Dan pas dia di interview, Nolan ini bilang, I think horror films are very interesting because they depend on very cinematic devices and I think Java is the key. Secara tegas tuh Nolan bilang Java is the key. Nah, ada yang bisa tebak gak maksud si Nolan ini yang Java is the key? Nah, tapi kalau emang fix nih bakal bikin film horor Indonesia dan panggil setan beneran, kira-kira tempat syuting horornya tuh cocoknya di mana ya? Dan kira-kira siapa nih artis yang cocok untuk peranin film horor Christopher Nolan ini? Coba komen.
Guys, beberapa tahun terakhir, film horor Indonesia memang menunjukkan perkembangan yang luar biasa. Dari segi cerita, kualitas produksi, hingga akting para pemainnya, semuanya semakin matang dan profesional. Tidak hanya mengandalkan jump scare, tapi juga mengangkat unsur budaya lokal, mitos, dan cerita rakyat yang justru menjadi daya tarik unik di mata penonton internasional. Inilah yang membuat film horor Indonesia punya ciri khas yang berbeda dibandingkan film dari negara lain.
This Indonesian horror film is pretty good. Two college kids move into this super wholesome boarding house so they can go to school. Cute little dinners, friendly landlord, feels like a sitcom if it was possessed by the damn devil. Yeah, it turns out everything's chill until somebody wakes up screaming about a pokong, which is an Indonesian ghost. That's creepy as hell. I ain't never fought a ghost naked before, but if this showed up when I was taking a shower, it'd be on like Donkey Kong. At first, other tenants were just like playing it off, saying, oh, you're just having bad dreams and shit, until things start to go off the rails, and then it gets really bonkers. Yeah, this boarding house is less home sweet home and more Airbnb sponsored by Satan. Take Me to Hell mixes creepy folklore with a great slow burn aesthetic, and there's some pretty creepy scenes in here. If you love Indonesian horror, this is another one to add to the collection. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. It's not the best that I've seen, but it's definitely a damn solid film. Take Me to Hell is streaming on Daily Motion with English subtitles. I'll put the link in the comments. Y'all have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one.
Whenever people talk about Asian horror, your mind immediately goes to Japanese horror or Korean horror because those are very popular, and yes, they should be popular. But one of my favorite subgenre in this Asian horror universe are the Indonesian horror movies. Indonesian horror movies have sort of taken the horror community by storm in these past few years because they have been releasing bangers after bangers. The horror movies from Indonesia in the 80s and the 90s were more on the campy side. It wasn't until the late 2000s to early 2010s Indonesian horror movies really started getting gritty and dark and scary. So consider this video as your guide to Indonesian horror movies. Start with these films and then you can go back and research and watch whatever you want. Macabre was my introduction to Indonesian horror movies. This is an incredible film. It's a brutal slasher movie with a kick-ass final girl. It mixes camp, gore, intensity, and scary sequences. It is a brilliant film. Also have to warn you, this was apparently banned in a few countries, so. Next up, we have Satan's Slaves. Now, this film is a sort of remake sequel to an 80s film of the same name, but you can watch this one, you will still understand this film. This is sort of a mixture between Insidious and a lot of cultural themes from Indonesia. It is so scary, y'all. Some of the scenes intense. May the Devil Take You and his sequel, May the Devil Take You 2, is absolutely scary as hell. Think of it as a heightened Evil Dead. Oh my god, I was terrified while watching this film, especially the second one. I cannot wait for the third and the final installment. Imperigore is definitely a sort of cinematic masterpiece in my opinion. From the first second of the film to the last second, you are left with this feeling of heart racing. Trust me, the opening sequence is one of the best opening sequence ever. And finally, The Queen of Black Magic. This is more of a modern horror movie because it came out in 2021, I think. Intense, love it. I really recommend you do watch this one because some of the imagery in this, I hope this video helps you discover some Indonesian horror movie gems because they are awesome and need to be watched.
Ada yang namanya Indonesian horror wave kan di seluruh dunia, bukan cuma Southeast Asia. Film horror Indonesia tuh dicari sekarang karena memang ada, it's real, Indonesian horror wave itu real.
Iya lagi.
Seperti yang gue bilang dan sering gue katakan di mana-mana bahwa kita nggak perlu malu bahwa kita memproduksi film horror. Itu yang kita punya. Yeah. Kita sebuah negara yang terdiri dari banyak sekali ethnic groups ya, lebih dari 200, dan each one of this ethnic group membawa their own mitologi, folklore, dongeng segala macam. Dan yang paling intriguing kan biasanya hal-hal serem karena kita memang percaya banget sama hal seperti itu kan dari zaman dulu. Jadi we are very spiritual in a way gitu. Jadi jangan dibilang stop making film horror. No, that's what we have. Bahkan kalau misalnya kita secara sadar mau mengekspor sesuatu untuk pop culture, Korea punya K-pop, K-drama, kita punya horor.
Masuknya film-film ini ke Netflix menjadi pintu besar untuk memperkenalkan Indonesia ke dunia. Dengan jangkauan global, karya-karya ini bisa ditonton oleh jutaan orang dari berbagai negara. Hal ini tentu membuka peluang besar bagi industri perfilman Indonesia untuk terus berkembang, berkolaborasi, dan bahkan bersaing di level internasional. Tidak sedikit juga film Indonesia yang sebelumnya sukses di dalam negeri, akhirnya mendapatkan pengakuan lebih luas setelah tayang di platform global. Lebih dari itu, keberhasilan ini juga menjadi bukti bahwa ketika kita serius dalam berkarya dan menjaga kualitas, hasilnya bisa melampaui ekspektasi. Film horor yang dulu mungkin dipandang sebelah mata, kini justru menjadi salah satu genre unggulan Indonesia. Ini menunjukkan bahwa potensi besar sebenarnya sudah ada sejak lama, hanya perlu terus diasah dan didukung oleh semua pihak, termasuk kita sebagai penonton. Nah guys, dari sini kita bisa belajar bahwa dukungan terhadap karya lokal itu sangat penting. Mulai dari hal sederhana seperti menonton film Indonesia secara legal, memberikan apresiasi, hingga tidak meremehkan karya anak bangsa. Karena tanpa kita sadari, dukungan kecil dari kita bisa berdampak besar bagi pengembangan industri kreatif Indonesia. Sebagai penutup, semoga kedepannya semakin banyak film Indonesia, bukan hanya horor, yang bisa go internasional dan membawa nama baik bangsa. Dan buat kalian yang punya mimpi di dunia kreatif, jangan pernah ragu untuk berkarya. Karena kesempatan itu selalu ada bagi mereka yang terus berusaha. Terima kasih sudah menonton di channel CM Religi. Jangan lupa like, komen, dan subscribe ya guys. Sampai jumpa di video berikutnya.